Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name's Rob, and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist. Every week we take inspiration from a recent or upcoming release and then stop doing work for the rest of the day to talk about video games. Because Gang Beasts is finally here, I know, kept you waiting, huh? We've been talking this week about moments in games that were so hilarious they had us in tears. Nathan's first up, talking about our headline act, Gang Beasts.
Okay, so hilarious moments in games that made me cry. I literally cried on the channel recently playing playing a rugby game. The rugby game is amazing, but that isn't going to be my choice today. My choice today is something which makes me laugh regularly and on purpose, and that's Gang Beasts, which is it's a fantastic game. And so I was just kind of watching. We've done 2 videos on the channel about Gang Beasts already, which is, if you don't know it, guys at home, Gang Beasts is sort of a jelly baby murder box, right? Yeah. That's kind of.
That's what we put out the back of the box.
Yeah, definitely.
So we all play as kind of a homunculus kind of squidgy man, and.
What about in the game?
Hey! And you fight on just top of buses or lorries on the freeway or the motorway now. Not the freeway.
Wow.
That was weird.
We're losing him.
Yeah.
Building sites on top of a blimp, regular kind of fight arenas.
Every day.
Everyday scenarios. But the controls are you can do limbs with these buttons, and it's quite hard to control. There's not much. It's not like a fighting game articulation. So the clumsiness is very funny. The things that make me laugh. I've got a general one, and then there are a couple of specific moments that came out of it. My favourite thing in the game, and which is new from the first time we played it, they added it in the second time, is the headbutting, right? Which I think might have always been in the game, but the noise that it makes. And Rob was, for some reason, incredible at headbutting people. Yeah. He got the timing right, and there was like a viciousness that I know always dwells in Rob that was coming out in the headbutts, and the people, and we just fell over, boom, just straight away. Were kind of stunned. Specifics that I thought were amazing. It was actually in our first game day. I'm sorry to turn to you, but on the stage at EGX, we were fighting on top of 2 lorries going down the motorway, and you were on top. You were the champion.
I definitely won.
I think Holly had even touched the road, but hadn't. I guess it's that second bounce which kills you when you fall off the top of a lorry.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It didn't double bounce.
And as you kept on going on top of your lorry, just this over street set of signs just smacked the life clean out of you. It was amazing.
Ridiculous.
And it was just one of those moments that the game offers up, which is just perfect. But my favourite one, and I think this is the kind of thing that happens all the time, I think if everybody knows all the controls and you're trying to grapple each other, it's very, very hard for one person to kind of, to get on top. And my favourite thing that happened was I somehow ended up with like one of you each, Dave and Rob, in one arm, and I just decided I was going to walk us all into a fire. And you guys grabbed onto like one of you, like partly on me, but like also partly on the scenery, and there was like this mania had overtaken all of us, and we were just all screaming, and I was trying to just murder us all, which is, I think, the perfect Gang Beasts moment.
What happened? I don't remember.
Well, it was a stalemate, so we didn't burn. I was just on the precipice for ages, and then eventually the mania subsided.
Yeah.
It's a weird moment actually where we don't all die. And then we're just like, oh, what's over here? You know what I mean? We just instantly just switch back. Oh, I'll go up these stairs instead. Yeah, it's an odd one.
I think thanks to access granted and one-on-onesie, I'm lucky enough to have several hilarious moments to have chosen from here.
Like the rugby?
I don't remember the rugby. But actually what I've gone with is something from our Christmas special Let's Play from last year, Skyrim. The Adventures of Nathan the Christmas Elf. Well named he was, and
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I watched these back recently, and there's loads and loads of funny stuff in that actually. But something in particular that struck me was just an absolute calamity of errors. And it wasn't you trying to find that city on the other side of the map, Nath, without looking at the map. It was when Rob sent you to Solitude to murder 5 innocent people.
I thought I was going to look bad.
What's our Rob was scraping the challenge barrel at this point, wasn't
Just kill some people.
I don't know, yeah, just kill some people. So yeah, you had to kill 5 people, let's say in their beds, stealthily, without getting caught, in solitude, in Skyrim, as Nathan the Christmas Elf. And I don't remember how far into the challenge, I think you'd killed 1 or 2 at this point. You made your way to this big house, and it was just such a calamity of errors. And you'd taken off all your armour, so you could be super sneaky. And I don't remember exactly. I think Jisley was in bed, and I think you're about to murder her, and she wakes up, or something like that. Anyway, we are startled. You start thrashing mindlessly. You cause quite a lot of noise, and she's sort of awkwardly leaning over the bed, and we just assume that she's dead. We suddenly can see through the open door that there are guards coming and you've been rumbled. So you quickly shut the door, go into the menus, put all your gear back on, and Jisley is just like back awake, and she's furious. And then the guards are there and they're furious. And then Erica, who owns the house, he's a man, he's there and he's furious. So you've been rumbled, you decide to kill everybody, as you do, but unfortunately, Erica and Jisley just won't die, no matter how much. They're on their hands and knees, and you're just wildly swinging. You've got no stamina left. We're like, Nathan, I don't think they can die. I think it turns out that they're probably quest givers. Even then, it goes from bad to worse, because first of all, you try to shout at some people, but you are spinning wildly. You end up just shouting some onions off a plate.
Anyone who doesn't know Skyrim, just go into this with no context.
Yeah.
Just shouting some onions off a plate.
You manage to make it downstairs. You go through the front door, and as it does in Skyrim, when you go from inside to outside, it saves and loads, like the exterior. And as it happens in Skyrim, the NPCs are already outside, and they're furious. It's Erica and Jisley, who can't be killed, we now know, are outside, and they are swinging madly. And you're trying to jump off this little balcony, and you just can't jump, and you die. And then we realise that the save point is when you come out of the door, so it loads again, and they're there again, furious. You manage to run away, and Erica is chasing you down the street in solitude, shouting, "I will bathe in your blood." Like that is not a normal response. I admit that he's traumatised, but that is not a normal response. In the end, it's great because you get approached by a guard, and Rob's like, "Oh, good, you've been arrested. It's okay, you've been arrested," and you go to prison.
So hilarious moments. Now I had a couple for this one, and most of them were quite single playery. I was going to mention Witcher, Heart of Stones. Well, Nathan's not here, so you two can just smile and nod.
I played Hearts of Stone.
Well, you know when you're at the dance scene?
At the wedding?
Yeah, and I laughed the whole way through. I thought it was amazing. And I thought, it's not really that funny. And then I was going to mention... It's not that funny. Like, your stories have all been hilarious, and mine's just me chuckling at home by myself. A bit sad. But I realised that when you guys were talking, it was not necessarily the game that was funny, it was the situation that had arisen in the game. That's what you all found funny. So I was thinking about Gamescom. Not this year, last year.
What happened? Oh God, we're all racking our brains.
Oh God.
Well, a member of the team who isn't me, that doesn't particularly like horror games,
Oh, come on.
played a little horror VR title called Rush of Blood.
Oh, I'm so glad you picked this, Holly. So glad.
Now, he's a very brave man, this man. He was brave, and he always takes one for the team. And he did, he put the headset on, and he sat in the chair. And
You can't be brave if you're not scared.
This is, well, I mean, I don't think I think he's just scared all the time then. But as he started playing, it became apparent that the fact this was in VR was a next level that maybe mentally and spiritually he wasn't ready for. It was a lot to take on board at that time. So obviously we always have a bit of a giggle when this person is scared. It's always quite funny. The more he was playing, the more he was communicating with only porpoises. So at this point he is squealing. And also sort of curling up. So he's like
It was
4
safer.
feet
It was safer that way.
Best part was though, Nathan, I think, was doing the chatty chats.
Yes.
So I was underneath, I think, holding one microphone to the other member we shan't name. And Nathan was then trying to chat to have the conversation. Nathan was trying to chat. Nathan's lost it. I'm crying. We're squealing. Me and Nathan are behind the camera and have barely held ourselves together. You're just squealing.
Yeah.
And in the end, the only way it stops is that Dave literally rips the VR headset off. Don't even finish the demo. The demo was only like 2 minutes long. Glasses came off, everything, everything were taken off. I have never, ever, ever been in pain from crying. And it's on the video. The video is literally just 2 grown people crying with laughter behind the camera while you suffer for the art. It's not funny at all. But watching you play it was beautiful, actually. And I'm really glad you did it because I laughed a lot. And I need, sometimes at Gamescom, that's exactly what I need.
Okay, so a hilarious moment that I always remember isn't even a moment that I was playing. I was just, I was watching it happen. It was, it's got to be my favourite one-on-onesie showdown ever. Now, one-on-onesie back in our old office was played like about 1 foot to my right, so I couldn't really avoid just getting involved with one-on-onesie every week. I, just stop whatever I was editing, just watch whatever happened. And it was a NBA 2K16, I think, was the iteration of NBA you were playing. Neither Dave nor Nath had any real idea how NBA worked.
In the game, in reality.
There's the basics of, okay, we can move the players with the left stick, X is pass, there's a button for shoot. But apart from that, like, no one really knew how to tackle. And it's just, it started out and it was like, whoa, we don't know how to play this. And then Dave started taking a lead. And at that point, Nathan obviously was, there was an annoyance at the fact that he was losing. But I think that was exacerbated by the fact that Dave had somehow a very slightly better grasp of just how to make the players do the things.
There's a specific reason for that we should come on to later.
I'm just good at games.
You were looking up tutorials. I found them in your search history. You were literally looking up.
Simply
It was how to play NBA.
Dave starts getting maybe 16 points ahead, and Nath is Nath is, I think, the most furious I've ever seen him. And I mean, that's like inherently funny anyway when it's like game rage. But it's that kind of game rage where Dave, you can kind of see him, he's like a bit awkward about it. He's like, maybe I shouldn't start shooting my baskets anymore. Then it just kind of tips over the edge of awkwardness into just hilarity, where Dave just can't keep a straight face. And as Nathan gets more and more furious, he just can't do any of the things at all. That's one amazing bit where he's just cursing at these giant men, I think you call them. Stupid giant men who just kind of flopping about like 7-foot fish, just not tackling, just putting their hands up like
I
that.
still don't understand why he wouldn't just shoot.
That's the bit. That's my all-time favourite bit. Like, it all culminates in this bit towards the end where Nathan's managed to string a few passes together, and it's got to the guy who's right underneath the basket. He starts with maybe no defenders around him, and he just won't shoot for whatever reason. And
pretends to shoot.
and it's like Nate's obviously pressing the shoot button, but obviously combining it with some kind of modifier that won't release the shot. So this guy's just under the basket going like that. And Nate obviously does his big old sweary tirade at this man, going shoot, shoot, with added words.
Yeah.
And then just the please, it's the please you add on to the end of that. Just shoot and score, please! And the please is like a little pleading, desperate please. He's just like... And I just I couldn't get the image out of my head as you, as like the NBA coach on the sidelines. This guy just, what's he doing? Just shoot! Please, just shoot! And by this time, all of Dave's defenders have got there, doing their kind of, and Nathan doesn't score. It was one of those moments where I was just almost paralysed with laughter. I couldn't move. Even watching it back, I just, gives me stomachache from the laughing at that. Good time.
Got to change the title. Holly's nailed it.
Yeah, it was basically times where we've been so bad at the game it's been funny.
Well, that's basically a whole other video, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment to tell us about some of your most hilarious gaming memories, and join us again in the new year for another Tuesday checklist.